Essential. KGI International Summary of Corporation Tax, Educational Levy, and Late Payment Charges and Interest for the period 2009 to 2017, admitted mark MS 190.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We'll continue tomorrow, but I'd just like to ask you one question. How long were you...
Sorry, hold it.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman.
What is admitted is marked MS 198. 198. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mrs. Sise, how long were you managing director of APAM for?
A month, ma'am. Like a month and a half.
What period was this?
From end of October, like November to December.
Which year?
2016. Thank you.
November to December 2016.
2017, yes.
2016.
Yes.
That's before the president left.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
November to December 2016.
Yes.
How did you stop being managing director?
I was on leave and then I came back. That was in January. And then Mr. Gattas informed me that there was no more operations, that they stopped. There is no more APAM. That's what he told me. And then from there, I was strictly concentrated at KGI International. So because basically my roles as managing director of APAM at that time was to co-sign with Tony in terms of the operations. To co-sign like checks payments with Tony. The operations were handled by Mr. Gattas. So basically, I was at my office at KGI International, and Mr. Gattas was in his office. Whenever there is a payment, he will send a voucher to me for signature. Because I was appointed in end of October. That was in 29th of October, if I may recall. And then 2 weeks after, we had a meeting with General Baji and Mr. Tony regarding my appointment. So we were supposed to have another meeting with the ex-president regarding my terms of reference and the process flow about the company, but it was not finalized.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I understand you still have to go through some documents, so
sure.
If you could come back tomorrow at 10.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, that's all.
Very well, you may go.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I call Mr. Anthony G. Carvalho. There was a first time.
Oh, that's tough.
So, the Bible?
Yes, Bible.
Okay. You can hold it. Hold it up to me, sir. I swear by the Almighty God
I swear by the Almighty God
that the evidence I shall give to this commission
that the evidence I shall give to this commission
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you, sir. You can wait for the instruction.
Please state your names.
Anthony Gabriel Carvalho.
Mr. Carvalho, where do you live? Where do you live?
I live at Kotu in the Kanifing municipality.
What work do you do?
I am a public servant and currently working at the National Food Security Processing and Marketing Corporation, previously known as Gambia Groundnut Corporation.
Okay. Please sit down. Before you sit down, in what capacity are you working?
I am currently the managing director.
The managing director?
Yes.
How long have you been managing director?
I'm in my 8th year.
When did the name change?
Pardon?
When did the name change from Gambia Groundnut Corporation?
It was sometime in 2016.
Please sit down. Could you just, if you can, more precisely tell us what year you started? You started with the Gambia Groundnut Corporation, and in what capacity?
Yeah, I started in December 2008 as deputy managing director.
Who was the managing director?
Deputy managing director.
Who was the managing director?
Mr. Ali Mboj.
Okay. You started
as deputy managing director.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2010, to be precise, in February, I was appointed managing director.
Okay. So from February 2010 to date, you've been managing director?
Exactly, ma.
And December 2008 is your first appointment with Gambia Groundnut Corporation?
Precisely, yes.
Your summons today with regard to John Deere tractors that were financed by Social Security and Housing Finance Corporation.
Okay.
The Commission, could you explain to the Commission the connection of Gambia Groundnut Corporation to the John Deere tractors and therefore to Social Security and Housing Finance Corporation.
Okay. In 2012, to be precise, on the 13th of April 2012, the corporation received written instructions from the Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Finance and Corporation requesting the corporation to open a letter of credit in favor of John Deere in South Africa for the purchase of tractors and farming implements.
When you say corporation, are you referring to Gambia Groundnut Corporation?
Yes, ma'am. I'm referring to the Gambia Groundnut Corporation.
Okay. Do you have that letter?
Yes, we have it here.
Can you repeat the date of the letter, and if you have the reference, give us the reference?
'13th of April 2012, and the reference reads ADM.
From where? From where is the letter from?
It's from the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs in Banjul.
Okay. Yes, give us the reference.
The reference is ADM 112 stroke 257 stroke 01 stroke part 23 and in inverted commas, in brackets rather, 70.
Okay. I see you have a whole document there. We will apply to have it admitted afterwards, but you can continue with your narration.
Okay. We received this letter from, as I indicated, from the Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, and it was a joint letter addressed to us, the Gambia Groundnut Corporation, and the Trust Bank Gambia Limited. And in the letter they requested us to open a letter of credit for the procurement of tractors and farming implements from John Deere in South Africa. The amount of the letter of credit that we requested was $2,523,000 US, 232. When we received the letter from the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, we complied and applied to the bank for them to open for us a letter of credit. The bank replied, stipulating certain conditions for the opening of the letter of credit. We photocopied that letter, that is the reply from the bank, and make a covering letter to the Ministry of Finance, since they initiated this transaction, asking them to fulfill the conditions stipulated in the letter from the bank. The bank requested first and foremost that for them to open the letter of credit, there must be a collateral. The other things they asked was which account are they going to debit for this transaction. We forwarded this letter to the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, and a couple of days after, we were notified by the bank verbally that they have now received collateral from the Social Security and Housing Finance Corporation. Afterwards, we had received correspondence both from the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs and the Office of the President, in which they had demanded Social Security to provide the necessary collateral for this letter of credit.
Do you have the correspondence, the letter you wrote to the bank, the reply from the bank?
We have it all
here.
All is here, yes.
In that document.
We have it here.
Just give us the dates. You don't have to give us the reference.
Okay.
So the letter you wrote to the bank, when was it dated?
Okay. Our letter to the bank was dated the 25th of April 2012.
Okay.
You want the reference also?
No.
Okay.
The bank's letter?
The bank's letter was also received on the same day, the 25th of April.
It's not dated? The letter of the bank is not dated?
It's dated the 25th of April 2012, in which they have stipulated all their conditions.
Okay. And then the letters from Finance and Office of the President, give us the dates.
The letter from Finance was dated the 26th of April 2012.
Yes?
You want the reference, ma'am?
What about the Office of the President, requesting that Social Security should provide the collateral?
It was dated the 4th of May 2012.
And that is the letter in which Office of the President requested Social Security to provide collateral.
Precisely.
Okay. I'll just take you a step back. Why were you being required or requested by the Ministry of Finance to provide LC for tractors?
In the letter, apparently the Ministry of Finance could not open a letter of credit directly to the bank because we were the only ones with an account with Trust Bank.
What I want to understand, did you ask for tractors?
No, we did not. Did
you want to buy tractors?
We did not.
Did you communicate a need for tractors?
No, we did not.
What did you understand to be the purpose of the tractors?
Well, it was, they had a mechanization project at the Ministry of Agriculture, and the government wanted to order tractors. They approached the bank, and the bank could not open a letter of credit because the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs never had an account there. So they sent us a letter, but the letter is very precise. What they stipulated in the letter, we are going to provide you with the funds for the cost of the entire transaction. That is the government of the Gambia and the government of Taiwan. This is what is stipulated in the letter.
You have the letter?
Yes, it's here.
Yes, can you read the appropriate paragraph instead of paraphrasing?
Be informed that the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs will pay the cost of the opening of the letter of credit, and the monies will be provided for by the Republic of China, ROC on Taiwan.
Gambia Groundnut Corporation, what is its legal status? What was it, since the name has changed? What was its legal status?
Then it was a corporation,
but
we are made to understand it was registered as a private limited company. Then.
You are the managing director, Mr. Carvalho. Did you see your statutory documents?
Pardon?
Your statutory documents, whether it was because if you say corporation,
no,
we assume that you were enacted by Act of Parliament.
Exactly.
Were you enacted by?
No, it was not. Going through the history of this, when it was privatized, the new owners, Alimenta, decided to change the name to Gambia Groundnut Corporation with the approval of government. I know that for a corporation, it needs to be enacted by Parliament, but it was still a private limited company.
Did you see the memorandum and articles of Gambia Groundnut Corporation when you were appointed?
No, since I joined them, I couldn't see. I have seen studies made by a legal practitioner as to how they arrive at the name and all these things. I have a copy of an entire dossier as to the genesis of Gambia Groundnut Corporation.
Do you have a memorandum and articles of association?
Of the then Gambia Groundnut Corporation? Unless I check back in our safes, I can provide that.
Do you have? Sorry, do you have? I want to confirm whether you have a memorandum and articles of association.
As I said, unless I go back to the office and check, it should be available in the safe.
You don't refer to it in your proceedings? Do you have a board?
We have a board.
Who's the chairman of the board?
Currently is Mr. Amadou Koli.
Mr. Amadou Koli, I believe Mr. Amadou Koli, the former governor central.
Precisely, exactly, yes.
At this date, who was the chairman of the board?
At this stage, there was no chairman. There was no board as such.
There was no board.
Yeah, the board came into existence in July 2012. And this transaction was in April.
So when you started work at GGC, there was no board?
There was no board.
Had there been a board before you started, according to your records?
Yes.
Okay. But at the board level, you've never had cause whilst you were there to refer to your memorandum and articles of association?
No.
Who are the shareholders?
Currently, 99% is government, 1% social security.
At the time you were appointed, who were the shareholders?
It was entirely government. They had reprocessed this from Alimenta, and they just did not amend any of the memorandum and articles as before. They just left it like that, but it was 100% government.
They took it over from Alimenta?
Alimenta.
And never changed anything?
No, they never changed anything.
We would require that you provide the statutory documents.
Sure, I can get it.
But, so what you're explaining is that you were just required to provide the security for the tractors by providing an LC, but you had no need for tractors.
We did not have. We did not have.
All right. So what happened after?
Well, we opened the letter of credit.
And Social Security provided what? Collateral?
The collateral.
In the form of?
It must have been a cash cover. It was a cash cover provided.
And this was for 2.5 million?
This was for
how much?
In dollar terms, it was 2,523,232.
Was that the first time you were being required to provide LC for tractors?
It was the first time.
Okay. So what happened?
Well, the tractors eventually arrived, the documents arrived, and government never paid us as promised in their letter, as undertaken in their letter, that they will deposit the funds. They never deposited the funds. Our account was debited.
Your account was debited or Social Security account?
Our account was debited.
For this transaction?
For this transaction, for the letter of credit, our account was debited.
So Social Security did not have to, they were not called upon to pay?
At that stage, no.
Okay. All right.
And then we had been grappling with the interest because the account was overdrawn because of this transaction. And after some time, the bank was demanding for the payment of the overdrawn balance on the account.
Mm-hmm.
And it had dragged on for a long time. We had series of correspondence with the Ministry of Finance and all the government apparatus for them to come and settle the LC, and it was never done. In the end, the bank called on the guarantee. This is where Social Security came into the scene.
The bank called in your guarantee?
On the guarantee on Social Security, because they provided cash cover for the LC.
I don't understand. You said your account was debited.
It was debited.
What I understand by that is that the bank paid itself from your account.
Yes.
So
the account was overdrawn.
Okay.
As a result of that debit.
Okay.
And as a result, they wanted to regularize the situation.
All right.
They call on the guarantee so that the account can go back to credit.
So how much was the guarantee? How much was the amount for, Social Security was called upon to pay? And the date, please. Mr. Carvalho, are you able to give us the information now, or do you need time to obtain the information?
Yes, I can, if you don't mind. I have
Okay.
some of these dates when the account was actually debited and
Yes.
also how much. I can furnish all those things.
Yes. If you can tell us how much.
Because we had 48 million for 554,312 was debited in our account. This was the communication we sent to the Ministry of Finance asking for a payment of this amount which was debited to our account.
Can you repeat the figure? 54 million?
48 million.
48.
Yep.
Yes.
554,303 dollars, 43 bututs.
How much did Social Security have to pay?
This is the amount that they had. Well, there are some interest elements which I need to check also from the account.
No, Mr. Carvalho, you said your account was debited for this amount.
With this amount.
And then it became...
And then subsequently interest was being charged on the overdrawn balance.
Okay. And Social Security was called upon to pay a certain amount.
Certain amount. This is what I wanted to check on the file. What was the
Tell us the amount Social Security had to pay. We have the figures for the first. Mr. Carvalho, if you don't have the figure at hand, I know you have your folder and you need to go through. We can come back to it because it's almost time to break off. Okay. You can come back to it this afternoon. But I just want you to finish your story. So Social Security was called upon to pay? To pay, yes. This time? Yes. Was there a second consignment, a second LC for John Deere tractors? There was a second request. Okay. Yes, tell us what happened. But we did not. We did not execute it. So what happened to that second request? Well, we just put it aside because the first one was not settled, so we just put it aside. The second request was in the same year, 2012. Is that correct? Precisely. Same year. One of the exhibits tendered before this commission SC23 by Social Security contains a letter dated June 8, 2012 from the Office of the President addressed to Social Security and Housing Finance Corporation and copied to the Managing Director of Gambia Grounded Corporation, among others, whereby an executive directive was given for an LC to be provided by Social Security in the sum of $2,015,082 on behalf of Gambia Grounded Corporation for the second tranche of John Deere farming equipment to the Gambia. Did you receive that letter? Yeah, it's here with me. Is that the one you said you did not execute? We did not execute. Okay. So what happened to the first transaction? Up to now, as we speak, not one butut has been given to us. And now, as we are talking about it, Social Security have instituted legal proceedings against the corporation for the recovery of that amount. When did they institute legal proceedings?
We were in court 2 weeks back. In fact, it's adjourned for next week again in the High Court.
Yes, when did they institute? Do you have the writ? Or
Yes, I have the writ.
you have a copy of the writ? Okay, add it to the folder that you have, so we will apply to tender them. That folder that you have in front of you.
Yeah, okay. Will it be
copy
possible
of
to
the-
have photocopies, because I would need them?
Yes, we can make copies for you.
Okay, thank you.
That is the writ?
That's the writ.
Tell us what you are handing over. Look at it properly.
It's the writ.
It's the writ.
With all these
You're
things.
giving 2 documents. What is the second one?
I don't know whether
These are all court
writ of
documents.
summons, the list of documents that the
Very well. How much are they claiming, by the way?
203,579,224.
203 million.
203,579,224 $6.78.
Okay. I presume with interest.
Yes,
At what rate?
23%.
All right. Can you also give us that folder that you have, that you were referring to, that had the letters? Yes.
This one.
Yes. Now, before you give it, is there any other document in that folder that you would like to bring to the attention of the Commission?
Well, the only thing that I really want to point out, the Ministry of Finance have acknowledged owing us that amount. That is the letter of credit and other amounts. They have confirmed that to our external auditors. They are owing us far greater amounts than this, and it's all in the folder here.
Sorry, they are owing you?
They are owing the corporation amounts far in excess of what Social Security is claiming from us. We have it here in the folder, and it's signed by the permanent secretary at the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs.
Okay. I see that you have tags. Can you remove those tags? Thank you. Mr. Carvalho, do you know what happened to the John Deere tractors that you financed?
Well, I happen to see them in the provinces whenever I go on trek, both at some of the governor's offices, some in the agricultural mixed farming centers, some with private individuals.
The records show that some were supplied to you.
Oh, that's a different one. We applied 2 years back. We had logistics problem. We wrote to the Ministry of Agriculture asking them to hire us for tractors, which we are currently using in our in-service depot here in Saro.
Okay, these were hired.
They were hired by the Ministry of Agriculture.
You hired them from Ministry of Agriculture?
Precisely. They normally do that for us if we have need of logistics within our depot.
You pay Ministry of Agriculture rent?
Well, for this particular one, they are yet to give us any invoice. We have not paid as we speak.
To whom does the tractors belong? Are they John Deere tractors?
Well, they are John Deere tractors, but we had to go to Ministry of Agriculture since they were the custodians of this thing. So we applied to them, and they replied and gave it to us.
So what you're saying is the tractors that you hired, 4 of them, have nothing to do with these tractors that you finance?
It's the same tractors. It's the same tractors which we are hiring from agriculture.
But for which you are not paying rent?
Well, they have not given us any invoice. The correspondence is there. We had written to them, and they provided us with the tractors. But as we speak now, I have not seen any invoice to that effect.
Where is the correspondence?
This is all in that folder. Sometime last month, the controller of the government vehicles was doing an inventory of these John Deere tractors, and we gave them the chassis number and the location. All the tractors are in Saro, in our depots, which we use for in-service this thing.
Okay, so you, this document, the first one that you gave me contains a statement
Yes.
you made and signed.
Yes.
Just for the record. You also made another statement regarding the 4 tractors that you hired.
Yes, they requested for a statement. The vehicle controller requested for a statement, how we got the tractors.
Do you understand that the 4 tractors also were part of the John Deere tractors financed by Social Security? The 4 that you hired?
Well, all I know that agriculture gave them, but we asked, because going through the chassis numbers, we knew that they were part of what was ordered before.
Is there, okay, you still have to, of course, give us the figures,
Figures,
regarding how much
Yes, I will.
that was debited to Social Security.
Okay.
You still have to give us. Maybe you can look whilst I apply to have this admitted. Mr. Chairman, may I apply to have admitted documents? The first one being a statement made by this witness, together with documents concerning an LC that was issued by them on behalf of the government for John Deere tractors, secured by Social Security for John Deere tractors. I also apply to have admitted a writ of summons in a suit between Social Security and National Food Security Processing and Marketing Corporation Company, successors of Gambia Granule Corporation. And also a statement with documents by this witness with regard to 4 tractors, John Deere tractors, said to have been hired from Ministry of Agriculture.
Big and fat. I don't know whether I killed it. Witness statement for this commission signed by Anthony Gabriel Carvalho. Witness number 183 and dated 25th August 2017, admitted mark MS 199A. Witness statement for this commission signed by Anthony G. Carvalho. Witness number 183 and dated 7th March 2018, admitted mark 199B. A. Witness, writ of summons issued on 20th February 2018 bearing civil suit number HC/18/CO/02/D2 between Social Security and Housing Finance Corporation and National Food Security Processing and Marketing Corporation Company, brackets, successors of Gambia Groundnut Corporation. That's A. B. Statement of claim dated 13th February 2018. C. Affidavit of statement of witness sworn on 15th February 2018. D. Plaintiff's list of documents dated 15th February 2018. Admitted in a bundle marked MS 200.
Are we breaking? No? Okay. Mr.
Counsel, do you need more than 5 minutes?
Just a few questions. Did you find the amount?
Yeah. In fact, I have, because there were two submissions I gave to the investigators. And in that one, there is this statement of account when on the 5th of December 2013, that was the time the account of Social Security was debited. And the amount was 127,905,457.61.
095. 127 million.
127,905,457.61.
Mr. Carvalho, am I to understand that Social Security is claiming from you in respect of the first tranche and the second tranche, which you said you did not execute?
No, the second tranche, we had never touched it. I personally received the letter and I marked it, do not take action. We did not open any second letter of credit for tractors, only one.
Did you communicate to Social Security since the letter was written to Social Security?
No, it was just copied to me. It was written to Social Security from OP and copied to me. I did not take any action.
You didn't take any action?
No.
You didn't tell Social Security that you do not need a letter of credit to be
No,
issued
we
on
did
your
not.
behalf? Okay. That's clear. We just wanted to clarify.
We did not.
Did you ever meet the John Deere representatives?
No.
Did you become involved in any third or fourth LC with respect to John Deere?
Come again, ma?
Were you involved in any other LC with respect to John Deere?
No, ma, except this very one, nothing whatsoever.
Do you know an Ambassador Jackson McDonald?
Never. I don't know.
Did you meet with the officers at the Office of the President regarding this matter?
No. All along, my point of contact was with the Ministry of Agriculture and the Ministry of Finance.
Just a general question. Was this the only time that GGC was being required by Office of the President involvement to make any payments?
This is the very first time.
Were there others after this one?
None. Nothing whatsoever.
Nothing?
Nothing.
All right. I have no further questions for Mr. Carvalho. Do you want to have that document admitted?
This one, okay.
If you think it's up to you, if you think it's useful and it will be helpful to the
Well,
Commission.
it shows when the account was debited and the debit note we
Very
have
well.
received from the bank.
We will take it from you. Thank you. We'll just add it to the exhibit. Can you collect the document, please? Mr. Chairman, may I apply to have this third statement admitted as part of MS 199? 199. From this witness.
bundle of document submitted by witness number 183, Carvalho, as requested by this commission and dated 8th September 2017, is hereby ordered to be included in Exhibit MS 199A.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have no further questions for Mr. Carvalho.
I have one clarification. Mr. Carvalho, in response to Council's questioning, did you mention you had no need for tractors at any point in time? Did we hear you say that?
No, we had no need.
Sorry?
We had no need at that particular time to order tractors.
But at some other time you did?
Yes, we have a project, ongoing project, which was tractors were included, and we have since received them. So we never had need.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. Very well, we'll rise and we'll be back at no, 2:30 is not realistic. At 3 o'clock. Meanwhile, you may go, Mr. Carvalho.
Thank you.